Prepare to jump into hyperspace on my mark.
All right, stand by.
The soundtracks to the original Star Wars trilogy are altogether probably my favourite film soundtracks of all time, and this is because of the sheer depth that John Williams has given them. He uses a huge variety of rich, characteristic leitmotifs, themes, and other catchy melodies. He shows a mastery of musical tension and climax. He's crafted a unique musical language distinctly recognisable as Star Wars. And he even builds different musical subcultures within this universe. He also uses more advanced filmic techniques such as musical onomatopoeia. In short, where other composers might settle for less, Williams really doesn't waste a single moment of music. John Williams was a relatively new film composer in the 70s, and the Star Wars films, being epic sagas spread across huge time and space, gave him the perfect canvas to write a score on a massive operatic scale, so he could show the world his talents in a seemingly fully fledged form. The music in these films was heavily influenced by a series of classical giants, including Gustav Holst, and Igor Stravinsky. But particularly by the operas of Richard Wagner, whose 16-hour epic, The Ring Cycle, crafts a universe involving dwarfs, giants, dragons, gods, and humans. And Wagner's music also shows a mastery of interweaving themes and leitmotifs. I've heard the Star Wars films being called space operas before, and I think John Williams only enhances these films' depth and breadth by writing an operatic score on an epic scale. While I would have loved to have covered everything in a single video, this is going to focus on just one thing: the lost art of melody, and how John Williams structures his themes. And I don't just mean small cells or motifs of music, but full-sized, expansive themes. Most films today do away with writing full-length themes, instead focusing on small cells of repeated notes or repetitive chord sequences, or just good sound production. In fact, even John Williams himself in a more recent Star Wars film makes his own themes closer to just small cells of notes. Take Rey's theme, for example. It's motivic, meaning made up of small cells of notes, rather than thematic, meaning made up of great, longer strains of melody. And this may reflect the fast-paced, quick-cutting Hollywood action style of Abraham's direction, as opposed to the broader style of the original trilogy. I believe it's Williams' use of these great, long themes that helped make the original Star Wars films what they were: epics, and not just fast-paced Hollywood thrillers. So, how does he structure these themes, and what makes them great? First, I think a very useful concept to keep in mind is the idea of musical tension and climax. That as we follow a melody or a harmonic progression, we don't just hear, but we feel its ebb and flow. We feel it build in tension and reach a climax. And we feel its resolution. For me, learning to hear and feel this flow of tension and climax in music was the first major step to listening with a greater depth and understanding. So, with tension and climax in mind, how does Williams create a great theme? Let's use this theme as an example. Some people call it the Force theme, some call it Hope, some say it represents the Jedi. I'm not convinced this theme is connected with anything in particular. I think Williams uses it as an emotional anchor, adding emotional weight and significance to whatever scene it accompanies. If it does mean anything at all, it may be related simply to expansiveness, to the universe, to the force which connects all things. So, in using it, he gives its scenes a sense of scale. A lot of his themes seem to fall under this same core framework, a kind of statement and answer form. The first half, or statement, exposes the core melodic material, or the elements of the theme that distinguish it and make it recognizable. Take this statement. It has these distinct elements which make it recognizable, and Williams can use these elements later on to develop the theme. Now he's presented the musical ideas in the statement, the answer takes it to an emotional peak or climax. Followed by a resolution, a kind of denouement or dissolution of tension. So we have the statement, which exposes the musical idea, followed by the answer, which takes it to an emotional peak and then relieves the tension. Now, I'm not saying he always uses this formula, but once you know it, you'll start hearing just how often he does. Take the flying theme from E.T. or Hedwig's theme from Harry Potter. But let's look at another theme from Star Wars. This is the love theme, which is a little more complex. Here's its statement, with its distinct characteristics. Then its answer takes it to an emotional peak. But with this theme, whenever he reaches the end of the answer, he lets the theme tail off in a different direction, never fully resolving until the final scene of Empire Strikes Back. In this way, he can alter the tail end of the theme for a variety of different dramatic effects. For example, compare these different variants of the theme.
Oh, nice man.
Very nice.
Sir, I've isolated.
There are other themes structured like this in Star Wars, such as Leia's theme, or Yoda's theme. And in a future video I'll have a look at his mastery of thematic development. Many popular directors today seem to focus more on quick-cut, fast-paced action, instead of giving their scenes significance and proportion. Consequently, many film composers settle for harmonic simplicity and melodic, well, sometimes melodic non-existence. We still get great sounds and exciting scores, but we lose one of the most important and emotionally rich elements in music, melody, and the ways in which melody can play with, twist, and broaden a film's emotional depth. What John Williams brought us was not the simple, repeated notes or filler music of many modern films, but a tapestry of emotion in musical form. I hope you liked this video. Now, I found it so musically rewarding to listen through these soundtracks properly, because as great as the films are, the way they're balanced and edited, you miss so much of John Williams' genius. It's great to listen to how he uses leitmotifs, creates a scene, builds tension and climax, enhances emotion. And if you want to do that yourselves, I've made a key for every theme in the original trilogy, which you can use to help you follow the music. The Empire Strikes Back is my personal favourite if you have to choose one, and I've made a list of my favourite tracks if you want to listen to more. There are a lot of other things I wanted to say about these soundtracks, but that'll probably mean more videos on this in the future, so subscribe if you want to see more, and thanks for watching.